11-6, 72 to Redan, 3-6, 24. Second half, and both ruckmen go at it. Big set to be impeded, but they had support there, and Aidan George put a floating ball up inside 50, back into the pack. That time was Williams, couldn't complete the mark. Greg did very well. Handball into space, got it onto Williams, brought the ball across his body, and he got a goal inside the first 20 seconds. Williams with his third, and City continue where they left off in the opening half. The margin 54 points. Going to be moving through to the grand final, not the prelim. 12-6-78 to Redan, 3-6-24 on the BFL Game of the Round scoreboard, and that took all of 20 seconds.
Can I be critical? I thought there was something.
He's having a good day, mate, so
Well,
take advantage of it.
Yeah, but what was all the team playing handball over the Redan player?
Well, he got it
Yeah,
in the end,
he got it,
converted, and again, looking to get the clearance. Gerkovic was dispossessed, opportunity for McNamara, did well on McCartan, tapped it into the path of Aidan George, goes looking for Lyle. The ordinary looking kick, and it opened the door this time for Hyde. Gets it onto Wade, and he'll switch it under, he finds Matthews, ducks back inside. And he spots up Jess, but again missed the target. In fact, Sam Howard, clever with the handball. To McNamara onto Hicks. Goes looking for Orr that time. He was beaten to it by Gerkovic, and he'll just kick out into open space. Kicks to the southern wing. Ball still inside the field of play. Hicks gets there first. Fumbled initially, but then took clean possession. Got it on that. Hobbs onto McNamara. Back to Jones. Took it on the half volley and then just threw it out. And it'll be an advantage free kick to Barker. And he can get the lines up to half forward momentarily because there was nobody home. And it was chopped off by Sam Bromley Lynch. Corral on the right. His body expert and Todd. Todd will also go back and forward where he finds Hicks. Gene Calloway got on the mark, but he bouncing around like a box of this, and his ankle's okay. Half forward, he was looking for Williams, but getting back and showing some good courage was Karras. Couldn't complete the mark. Brought the ball to Graham, but just gone away from him over the boundary line, but certainly kept Michael Williams away from it, and they can reset once again. Dickinson worked his way in front, got it down. Williams was there as the rover, couldn't take clean possession. Handball out,
He's still on the ground.
He's still on the ground. Eventually
he came
gets
up with
back
the ball.
like a fighting bear that time.
Good effort.
Did very well. In the end, it is going to be another stoppage. Right on attacking 50, left half forward, attacking side for City. Dickinson guided it down with the left hand. It was won nicely by McNamara, but he was besieged upon. Kind of ones, including Brendan Peace. So Ryan White, the ball will be put skywards once again. Ball in dispute. Just inside attacking 50. Ball's going nowhere. It's been a bit of a stalemate in the last minute or so. Maybe getting some numbers back behind the football. A little bit of rain falling here at Eastern Oval. Over the top, Dickinson. Got it down. Ball in dispute once again. Ball was beaten to it again. Heller just kicked clear, but only as far as McCartan. Got around on the left boot. Goes looking for Williams. Engaged the body nicely against Brett. Couldn't complete the mark. Just toe pokes it back in board. Getting back was Hyde and left the football behind. Was forced to retreat. Handball missed the target looking for Greg. Then gets it on to Lyle. Goes with the banana to the top of the square. But the only man there was waiting for Redan. Going to the back pocket where Karras takes the mark. Continue along the southern side. He's gone very wide looking for Dickinson as he put it out on the full no. Dickinson's dive wasn't in vain. He got hands to it. Put the ball over the boundary. But you imagine this rain shower will last a great deal of time, although with no rain, with no wind, not really going to push it away, I guess, is it? Dickinson, some strength, got it down. Aidan George got the ball nicely. Wrapped up immediately. 52 out from the City goal, kicking to the eastern end goals of the Peel Street end. Ruckman engage again. This one by Aidan George. Let the handball over the top of the Shark nicely by Peace. He was discarded like a rag doll that time. The ball dispossessed. Opportunity this time for Hicks. Brings the ball across his body. Williams went very early and very awkwardly. Now, was he pushed out of that contest? No. It was Britt who took the mark and then turned the kick over. but it was terrific anticipation by one of the smallest men on the ground against one of the biggest, and it was Tyler George. Just confronted that football full on, at full pace. He took the mark on the chest, and then you go into the corridor and lax defence that time. And you feel sorry for Gurkovic. Not a great deal he could have done with that because Lyle on the lead has taken the mark on the chest.
Up with him, Michael, to start with him.
You're always at a disadvantage, but that's where you need your teammates to really fill that hole. They didn't on that occasion. And Lyle with 4 first half goals, about 4 steps that time. Just didn't take it as deliberately as he would have liked. He's pushed it to the right. First minor blemish of the third term. City just going on their merry way as Redan really struggled to clear defensive 50. It was a low kick that this time fell for Greg. Attacking the football was Hayden. He was taken front on and he was taken to ground. And the umpire's going to elect to ball it up directly in front. 30 metres out from the City goal. As Dickinson guided it down, it was rowed brilliantly by Michael Williams. He curls the ball across his body. Curl it back enough and he misses to the right hand side.
Good attempt.
It was terrific anticipation. Read the ball brilliantly. So Hayden going to the southern side, looking for Matt Colby, couldn't complete the mark. Probably should have. Balls this time for looks like Lyle again. You're going to the corridor looking for Greg, who just stopped and waited for it. White was taken down at a terrific tackle. Opportunity this time for City. Just forcing the handball through was Greg. Seemed as though Riley was tripped on that occasion. No free kick forthcoming. And again in the corridor, about 25 out from the City goal, will be another ball up. Really need these windows clean, Barry.
We certainly do, Michael. And the fellow said him,
Jan Power was dispossessed of football. He's finding around didn't have it. Opportunity for City again, this time through Hicks, and just bring the ball across his body in a tight angle in the right forward pocket. Waite's taken the mark, but it was either touch. It didn't go the required 15 metres, and if that was based on the latter, I've seen shorter ones that have actually been paid.
Exactly.
And he was walking over the boundary line. Yep. Right forward pocket brought back into play. Matthews tapped it back to Dickinson. Got the ball on the boot, goes to half back. Ryle got hands to it, ball brought to ground. Still in dispute again, Sam Howard back onto it nicely. Back to Hicks, back this time to Sam Howard. Just found a little bit of space to get the ball on the right boot, working his way forward was Lyle. Fell for Todd. And from the top of the goal square, he tried to run it home. He's gone across the face, and he's missed to the right-hand side.
Did you see inaccuracy? Very costly, Michael.
Yeah, next week. Prove costly this afternoon. They've left off. They've kicked off where they left off in the second term. Brick, he could afford a fumble that time because he recovered and he kicked out into open space. But it's starting to get dark here at Eastern Oval. There's a ball for us to play over the boundary line and out of bounds. Those clouds certainly out to the south and even to the west are very high. Quite clear, but we've had a little bit of rain. Still abated at the moment. There's another big word for that. And it's won by Josh Bromley Lynch. Won the ball up towards attacking 50. Went the direction of Lyle. Couldn't complete the mark. Simons was there. Greg, at the drop of the ball, did very well. Got it onto his teammate just a little bit slow. It still fell this time for Michael Williams. Brings the ball across his body. There's nobody back on the line. He kicks his fourth. Well, everything going the way of North Ballarat City this afternoon. Redan look a shell of the side that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. And you just wonder how much last week's game took out of them. We did ask Rick Hall with that just before our half-time break. But there's just not that level of intensity, that level of pressure that they've applied in the past. And Michael Williams, well, he was under a little bit of pressure that time, but even then, it was still probably a little bit too easy. He has 4 this afternoon.
That was his second snapshot of goal in
Dickinson, as the rain gets a little bit heavier. It was won by McNamara. Through the middle of the ground, picks up the centre half forward, quick hands by Greg, gets it onto the run of McCann. On the run from 30 out, makes no mistake. Well, it doesn't matter whether the sun's out or the rain's coming down. City just continue on their merry way. And back-to-back goals within the space of around about 30 seconds. Again, another clearance, terrific hands by Greg out to the wide run of McCartan, who settled it up from about 30 out on the run and made no mistake. He has his first of the afternoon, and it's becoming, well, somewhat of a rout. So we're down 3-6-24 as they were at half-time. Ballarat City 14-9-93. And this is going to be a blowout that we haven't seen in the final for quite some time. Maybe a secondary ball up in the middle of the ground. Just attacking slightly. Certainly getting heavier.
It is getting heavier, Michael.
Barker squeezed the clearance out to half forward, attacking it was Bell. Quick hands into the path of Peace. Under pressure, just managed to get the kick away, but only as far as Hobbs. 360, got it back this time to Jones, kicking down the line. Jurkovic heading back on the stretch, running with the flight of the ball. Did well to get hands to it, but couldn't complete the mark. It's gone over the boundary line, and he had it down.
A couple of times in the last 15 minutes, so Jordan's probably getting something from the rain.
Dickinson got it down. An opportunity this time for Tyler George. Bent down nicely, picked it up, and with very little pressure, put it into the path, just weighted it nicely, forced Sean Lyle to run at the football, and he took it nicely on the chest. And he'll go through his normal routine. He goes to about halfway towards the man on the mark, and he'll just step it back and start his run up. Man on the mark at 45. Skips now at 49, right foot drop punt. And the goal umpire just moving slightly to his left, but it made absolutely no mistake. And Sean Lyle with 5, and the margin 75 points. Looked terrific off the boot, and I don't know, maybe the goal umpire was getting a little bit cold, maybe getting a little bit wet, trying to get out of the rain, I don't know. We really need to move. 15-9-99 North Ballarat City. We're down 3-6-24. They've game of the round scoreboard, Sean Lyle. Back-to-back balls of 5 goals. We're back in the middle again. Dan Cole got high, got it down. Bell was dispossessed a little too easily. McDermott put it on quickly to Simons. He can bring the ball up to attacking 50. Just hacked forward by Brick. That's into open space. Sliding onto it was Ryan Luke. Did well, got back to his feet. He'll bring the ball inside 50. Sitting numbers should win out that time. It was Orr. Tried to get it onto Keenan George, eventually does so by a hand. Forced to throw the ball on the boot, goes to the top of the square. Todd grabbed the football nicely, then he was dispossessed, and a good friend that time in the boundary line. Quite happy to find it 10 around from the City goal. Slung back in. McDermott taps it into the path of Orr. Probably needed to run onto it and try and kick it off the ground. Loose ball again. It's toe poke forward by Bell for Redan, but only as far as Tyler George. He's got support from Simmons, back to Tyler George, and he'll concede ground to Sam Howard. Howard will look to square it up, looking for and finding Sam Bromley Lynch on the stretch, and he nailed it down the second time. Now he'll go looking for Lyle, one out. Redan getting numbers back. Britt did well. Front and square with Karras. Handball out wide to Dan Cole. Diving in front of the football was Keenan George. Did very well, smothered the football. It ricocheted off his hands and over the boundary line. But again, just shows the difference between the two sides and the mental mindset of both sides this afternoon. City well and truly on. And they're on their way to a grand final appearance, their first. McDermott again into the path. He was looking for McNamara that time. Bell got there first. Matthews was slung, dispossessed, but it was Wade who got the clearance into the middle of the ground. Schultz tried to control the football, still trying to control the football. In the end, he's brought back to his feet, and he's held up and tackled by Clay Jenkins. And 14 minutes in, the rain appears to have stopped. Slighted up a little bit, we can see again. The ruck contest was won by McNamara. Brought the ball across his body, looking for Orr. Tried to pull his opponent out, but Hyden was too smart for that. Got around on the left boot, kicked out and open space to left half forward. A good contest between both Clay Jenkins and also Ben Schultz in the boundary line. I think was the winner on that occasion. About a metre, I think, is about it. Hasn't really ventured on the attacking side all that much, but they get an
well, here we go.
opportunity this
Yep.
time running onto it. Bell, he looked to kick to an open goal square and kicks a terrific goal. Spilled onto it brilliantly. Showed all his skill and expertise. Grant Bell, and his finish on the run from about 40 out to an open goal square was terrific. So Redan hit one back. And Tiger, I'm sure you're sitting wherever you're sitting at the moment saying, here they come! But Grant Bell with his first of the afternoon. And their first since
Quarter time.
time, absolutely. In fact, long before that. In fact, Paddy Nolan might even be able to tell us when he kicked their last goal. 25-minute mark, so that'd be like the opening term, wouldn't it? So Land dispossessed, but second effort was good, but he's dispossessed illegally. I would have thought on that occasion the umpire maybe on the blind side. I just feel sorry for the Western Lions that they're going to the benefit of that. And there'll be another ball up. Still in the corridor. 75 out for the City goal. Hook it back in. Dispute once more. Doesn't look as though, well, I was about to say, it didn't look as though it was coming out, but Ash Barker did well. Got it onto Phelps, fumbled initially, but then recovered, got it onto Lamb. Goes out wide looking for Dundon, and again, just missing their targets. And even on the bounce, it didn't really favour Jesse Dundon. Clay Jenkins was quite happy to escort the ball over the boundary line once again. Just forward of centre on the southern or outer side of the ground. I think this was behind, but he's still got hands to it. McNamara did well on all fours. Quick hands on the McCartan. Handball wasn't great, but he had support there in Tyler George. Put the ball to ground. Now he'll kick in the direction of Lyle. 1-2, couldn't quite bring it down. Recovered the better, got back to his feet and snaps the ball goalwards. But just overcooked the snap.
He's had better from his efforts,
Well, he recovered brilliantly.
didn't he?
Sean Lyle just appeared to be out of that contest, but well, the fact of the matter was he was never out of the contest, and in the end probably should have converted from there. Margin 70 points. Might go to the southern side, but he's gone a little too wide. I'm not sure if it went out on the full, over the boundary line on the full, or whether it's bounced over. Nobody got a hand to it, so it will be a City free kick. And Jake Higgs, too far out to score. The corridor, he was looking for Jaden Orr, ball bounced off his chest at ground level. It was won nicely by Britt. Threw the ball on the boot. It was tracked brilliantly on the half volley by McNamara. Gets it on the loop. He'll square it up looking for Williams, but it was a horrible kick. It was won by Matthews. He's got the run of Schultz, linking up nicely as Chester. Once he's full measure, approaches 50, he'll put the ball on its way. He goes across the face, pushing it to the left-hand side. He's missed. He's probably the most energy we've seen from Redan. Most space that they've had since probably the opening term as Luke takes the mark from the kicking. Look to come to the northern side. He's got Todd on. His defensive side of the northern wing. Takes the mark in front of Ryan Wade. Kicking style. Goes in the direction of Simmons. He was outnumbered, but it was won by Hicks. He was dispossessed, landed well. Just quickly got it on to Ryan Wade, but bringing the ball across his body was chopped off by Harrison. Goes back to Ryan Luke. Luke got on the centre wing, set himself to take the mark. And then for his measure, he came across from the side. Tom Lamb's got the errant boot to the ear, I think. Hasn't been a terrific day for he or his teammates. Kicking down the line, going in the direction of Lyle, set himself to take the mark. Coming across from the side was Ryan Wade, who in fact probably got first purchase on that. Bring the mark down. Himself. Tap of the turf. Ball back into play. Williams favoured, he was in front. Ball done by Lyle. And ball looking for Rafik Harris there. He's just a little sloppy in that tackle attempt. They've just tripped over his own feet. And it'll be a free kick to Keegan George. Lively, small forward, centre wing. Down the line, Williams in front, he can complete the mark. Spilling onto it, last was G and Paolo through traffic. Just threaded his way through. My hand to Wade. His handball didn't have much penetration to it. Right up against the boundary line was Karras. He's won nicely by Hobbs. Just with the ball on the boot, goes into the middle of the ground. Coming across from the side was Hobbs. Dropped what he should have taken, but he's got a little bit of support there in Harrison. And it'll be a contest between Heat and Dean Chester. Yes, it is. Matic Harris either of the two, but in the end, sliding the ball across the boundary line. Just a little bit of moisture, precipitation on the ground at the moment.
You see, Michael, the first mark that Hobbs has dropped all day.
Tap forward was one nicely by McNamara.
Well done,
Smart by
Kid,
McKenzie.
well done.
Left it for Chester. Then he was dispossessed. McNamara did well to Jones. Back this time to Josh Bromley Lynch. Tried to get the ball across his body. Fell for Chester, who in fact upstayed himself now. Brought it inside 50 now. Is it a holding free kick against Hobbs? It is. It's going to go the way of Daniel Colbert. And Dan Colbert, the right half forward. Look to hand off to Chester. You look to load it up from half forward. Just on the attacking 50. He's pushed it to the right. He's put it out of bounds on the full. So Redan's season will conclude this afternoon. They're going to make it another grand final. In fact, the run of winning a premiership every 2 years is going to come to an end this year. Well, it hasn't happened since the start of time. You'll understand. We're talking of more recent.
I keep saying, Michael, unfortunately, and the worrying part is I am bloody understanding everything you're saying.
So listeners do, that's the important thing, Barry. The ball's out of bounds. It'll be thrown back in just attacking side of centre wing on the southern side. It was ball by Phelps. G and Paolo in tight. Absorbed the bump. And the ball came back into his grasp and his ground level. He's making the attempt to try and get it out. I'm sure he was really fooling anyone, but he may have in fact fooled anyone. He's going to be balled up once again. Dickinson, well, once, twice, checked it forward, but it was won by Bromley Lynch, that being Josh. Goes up to half forward, but a good old shot in the back by Britton. Played on, was taken down in the tackle, was dispossessed. Waite, I thought, just got over the back of his opponent that time and trying to apply the tackle. That's Sample Lynch there. Rolling it up, which he's done now. Slung forward by Dickinson into space. Matthews pick up the greasy ball and into ground. McNamara was able to hold his feet. Tried to get the kick away. Bromley Lynch got it on to Keenan George with a little bit of space to go. And then drills a wonderful pass onto the chest of Lyle. Well, it's been impressive.
Yeah. But
just speared it low, and Sean Lyle really didn't need to change stride to the mark front on the chest.
What you said before about Redan's season coming to an end this afternoon, technically it's correct, but I would say that the Redan season is coming to an end.
Well, they're still out there, but they've conceded another goal, and it's Sean Lyle with his 6 after a terrific pass onto his chest. He converted accurately, has 6 this afternoon. And North Ballarat City are again out to a game high, 75 points. 16-10-106, Redan 4-7-31 on the BFL game of the round scoreboard, Barry Agg.
As I said, isn't there a mercy
I think we need one this afternoon. Well, I must admit I'm enjoying watching City play this afternoon. They have been terrific. McDermott again got it down. It was won by Harris. Quick hands, but conceding ground to Lamb off a step. Go up to half forward. Flying from the side was Luke. He complete the mark. Now at ground level he wins the hard football. Handballs out the space. Tyler George will just tap it to his advantage. He's got Gene Paolo. Is that or is that Colbert? In fact, it is Gene Paolo. It was right the first time. Right on his hammer. And in the end, Tyler George happy to put the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. And engage again. So, handed down to Peace. He'll hug the boundary, goes in the direction of Dan Colbert. Just fell a touch short and then got the push straight into the brick fence there, and he didn't take too kindly to it, Dan Colbert. It was against Jordan Harrison. It seemed a little unnecessary.
Exactly.
Forced him into the fence. A little harder than he otherwise would have hit it. Spilling onto it was Barker, was taken down. Did he have the football? Matthews tried to get the handball out. It fell this time for Peace. On to Dickinson. Across his body goes looking for Dan Colbert. Couldn't complete the mark. Clean bowling Daniel Jones there, but he recovered better. took possession of the football and has taken one high. Deep inside defensive 50, he'll take the resulting free kick.
Couldn't get to look at the English played, so that's it. He's doing.
Finds Higgs. It's off to the run of Harrison, who goes with a rainmaker, puts it up high. We don't need rain coming back. It's slapped forward by McCart. Over either side, to be perfectly honest. McCart did well, got the fist. And put it over the boundary line on Troop, centre wing. So, the side of the ground, 25 minutes in. 75 points the margin. Jones coming off the ground.
Coming off the Robins here.
Spilling onto it was McNamara, did well, and he found Simons, who juggled the mark. The attacking point of the square on the southern side, he'll go into the corridor looking for Keenan George. Had a little too much on it. Got past Lyle that time as well. Colbert with the handball over the top. Britt just seemed to be held out of it. Keenan George did very well, showed terrific desperation. Again, ball still in dispute. Tyler George taken front on, taking a good standing tackle, but prior opportunity. And left half forward, 47 out from the City goal. He puts the ball skywards again. Was one in the air by Dickinson, threw it on the boot, working his way forward. Was great. Just fallen a little short for him, sliding onto it like a cut. Threw that one out over George that time, got it onto Luke. Now he'll find McDermott. McDermott brings it inside 50, gets a low rubbering ball. Riley should get there first for Redan. The ball just got away from him. In the end, it landed back in his hand. City up against the boundary line. Just trying to see how that was. Hoping to kick out there.
Hi Jared, how are you?
Looked to relief from the last line of defence. Made a dangerous kick looking for Matty Colbert. Was equal to it, took the mark, and switch play to the southern side of the ground, looking for pace over the top, juggled the mark, brought it down, continued with his run. He goes up to half forward where Dan Colbert out the front takes the mark. 2 kicks from goal. We go with a long kick into the corridor. Damien Horbury was caught behind. Spilled off hands. Dundon trapped the ball nicely, then had his handball ricochet about 20 metres or so to the advantage of Sam Howard. Couldn't quite control the ball, but does keep the football alive. Continued on his run, but Barker, desperate as ever, dived on the football and then has taken one in the back against Sam Howard, whose endeavour was excellent. So too is clearly the smallest man on the ground. In fact, he could be mistaken for a garden gnome. We go into the corridor. Lamb couldn't complete the mark. Front and square was Mitch Phelps, and what Mitch Phelps does is he kicks goals. Reading the football, the bottom of the pack, brings him across his body and kicks to an open goal square. And Mitch Phelps has been, well, it's been, you'd say a disappointing final series for Mitch Phelps this season. He had a pretty good home and away season. He is still very young, so we won't expect too much from him. But that was terrific, front and square, and a typical Mitch Phelps goal. Very accurate.
No, it was big, and it just makes you wonder. You see flashes of what Redan can do and how they normally play. Why can't they do it more often?
City may have just taken the foot off the pedal somewhat, but it's 16-10 to 5-7. The secondary ball just attacked the side of the centre, literally a metre or so. The centre circle. In fact, the umpire's just going to step outside of the larger of the 2 rings. Dickinson got it down, was sharked by White from the defensive point of the square, got it up to centre half forward. Bell trapped that initially, but fumble and opened the door for McCartan. Goes out wide where he's got Higgs, and Higgs
Guess who?
has got Lyle on a good strong lead. Takes the mark just inside attacking 50. He'll pretty much have to kick from about 52. And White half forward looking for his 7th. He's kicked 2 goals in each of the quarters thus far.
Not beyond him.
He's in good form. Comes inside 50 now, 47, the right foot props up. Well, Barry Agnew said you wouldn't put it past him. I was never going to put it past him. I've seen enough of Sean Lyle to know that the distance was never going to be an issue. Merely a question of accuracy, and the accuracy was there as well. And Sean Lyle has 7. And North Ballarat, well, Aaron Pires at the moment, they've kicked another 6 goals already to the 29-minute mark.
If you go and get changed to number 2,
They are around
Hogan's heroes with
37 on the VFL game of the round score.
I know it doesn't work out like this, but if the rest of the city side away,
Mark, tell you how
Sean Lyle would have been down by himself.
Bessie Wood attacking the football was Barker, taking the football with him the first time, the second time again, turn the kick over, and about 30 metres, and just chopped on by Luke. Go Langsley. He's got Brendan Howard off a step, kick along in the direction of McCartan now in front of Bell, takes the mark on the chest, and you go looking for Greg. Iden was right there with him, got the defensive spot along, and forced the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. Greg's been terrific in tight, but he hasn't really got free at any stage this
I
afternoon.
was just going to say, without the tracking from the communities the other day, the next connection is
So from the ruck contest, Bell grabbed it nicely, handball back in space. He was looking for Mackenzie that time. He just worked off the football a little too easily, although he gets a second effort that time along the boundary line. Hard to get his umpire. He's coming in to collect the football now. The boundary line. Closed in.
Well,
that's what. Some of us still use inches, I guess, don't we? Trying to force it forward was Peace. Hasn't had a great afternoon, but just never given up trying. Handball missed the target, was chopped off by Hobbs. McCartan swings the handball out wide to Hicks. And time to recover after an initial fumble. Went looking for Todd that time, went to ground, was won by Dickinson. His handball hit the target, but if you're a Redan supporter, but if you are here to support North Ballarat City, just an impartial supporter of football, you have seen another simple afternoon.
That's the other thing about the sky, isn't it?
Alright, the all clear given everybody off the ground that's supposed to be off the ground, including Billy Locus. Compare ourselves like that, we're in the outside, just 360, just doing a bit of a count, making sure that the grass is the right. Confirming that football with Cromwell and Toddens the door. This is for Lambry, all across his body. Barker diving, completely marked off Gene Palo, forced to get the quick kick away, but tracking back, flight of the ball rather nicely. Hicks rolled on the left, back on the right, we found James. Drew centre half back.
It's not really difficult to find a teammate if you're playing for small cities. You've got players all over the field just running free.
And Brendan Howard, a terrific pass into the path of Keenan George. Took the mark.
By George.
Yes, we could go by George today. And again, a wonderful 40-metre pass right onto the chest of Sean Lyle. He's had some sort of afternoon. Kicked 8 goals actually against Bacchus Marsh earlier this season. It's a season high. Looking to replicate that in the preliminary final. Skips to 50 now from 49 right foot drop punt. Wonderful kick again. So Sean Lyle's having some sort of afternoon. His 8th goal, and City out now to a game high 81 points. It's almost bordering on the embarrassing for Redan. The great club have been made to look second, if not third rate this afternoon. City move along to 18-10-118 to Redan. 5-7-37 on the VFL game of the round scoreboard. And Sean Lyle, well, with his 8th goal, he now moves along to 51 goals. So we should have been on top of that a little bit earlier, that he's actually kicked 50 plus goals for the season. But it's quick hands by McNamara.
Look out, DJ, here he comes.
50,
Oh, well.
and the mark's dragged down by Williams.
One-handed.
60 out, you're going to the pocket looking for Mark Gregg, and then said to Michael Williams, well, if you can do it on your right, I can do it on my left. I can do it right up against the boundary line, and I can do it on my ear, which is pretty much what he's done. And Mark Gregg right up against the boundary line.
And after that, Mark, you just have to naturally mark this down as a certainty, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm not going to give him the curse, actually. But such has been City's afternoon, that you wouldn't put it past him. Right up against the boundary line. Right footer sends the ball goalwards. Is it just going to draw back enough? He went close, but he's just missed it, and I say just missed it to the near side. 82 points the margin. Hyde go to the southern side of the ground with a long kick. It's to a pack. Right on defensive 50, it was sharked nicely by a piece. Back to Dickinson, accepted the handball back, and he'll run the ball along the ground up to centre wing. Bromley Lynch will get there first, that's Sam. And on his not preferred, squeeze it up to Holtz, who dropped what he should have taken, but had a ton of time to recover while he was going around in circles. Eventually found Sam Howard, who cut the ball out looking for Williams. Past him, it's won by Dickinson. The run of Hyde the ball into the middle of the ground. Terrific work by Sam Howard. Got the ball to ground. It was won by Tyler George with a little bit of dash. Goes up inside 50, looking for, is that Aiden George up forward? It is. He was beaten to it by Riley. And Riley will switch play to the northern side where he's got Bell. Bell's got Hyde over Corbury on there. Tried to drag it in with the left hand, couldn't complete the mark, but did manage to take clean possession. It was won by Phelps at ground level. He was held up in a terrific Sam Howard tackle. It was tried to be kicked forward that time by the City player, and in the end it landed with Dan Colbert, and he just settled from about 40 out, nobody at home, and he was able to drive it through. So Redan, well, they won't give up trying. They get there first of the final term, margin back to 76 points.
This is for you, Tiger.
No, we've used that one already. I think once a game's enough, Barry, it'll be perfect honest. But look, good finish, good composure by Dan Colbert that time.
It was. He took that one step, steadied, and made him on the other.
So Ruckman will sit themselves. Dermot that got it down. It was won by Hingham George or Bromley Lynch. In fact, Josh Bromley Lynch that time. Long scraggy hair. Wait, foot of the back for McDermott who got it down. Won by White on the Bell by hand. Bring the ball up to half forward. Getting a good bounce was Barker. Went to ground but still managed to get the handball away. Got it on to Mitch Phelps on the right boot from about 30 metres out. He thought about handing it off. In the end he thought he would do it himself. And he made no mistake. So back-to-back goals to Redan for the first time since the opening term. Seriously, don't do it. The margin back to 70 points. 7-7-49. Just mere respectability back onto the scoreboard. If even that, Mill Ballarat City are going to 119 on the Buffalo game of the round scoreboard.
I don't think, well, some of the technical thing is, the huddles, but I wonder whether Robbie would be happy with the fact that they obviously come a little bit easier.
Huge issues. Redan clearance up to half forward line and complete the mark, and it's an opportunity this time for McNamara. Brought the ball up to the northern wing this time. He's looking for Todd, at least in his direction. Redan had numbers that time. The ball carried it back. It's a good play to back and out of bounds.
Let's get it.
Yes, but you don't want to pick up unnecessary injuries.
No, exactly.
The game either with the biggest game of the year on the board. McNamara brings the ball or loops it inside attacking 50. Greg couldn't complete the mark. Quick handball out towards Williams, who just threw the ball on the boot. I think he had full control over that. He's put it over the boundary line out of bounds. Peace takes the mark in the corridor, hands off to Riley. Riley ran his full measure, got it on to Ryle, back this time with Peace. Drew the opponent over the top to McKenzie. McKenzie had to stop and prop, got on the left boot. Goes in the direction of Harris that time. He too had to stop and prop and then set himself to take the mark, open the door for Jenkins to come across with the defensive spoil and force the ball over the boundary line. And out of bounds, 7 minutes in. This final turn, 70 points. Margin Dickinson got it down, looping the handball forward was Peace, all at ground level. Good one-out contest between the larger Hobbs and the smaller Barker. Neither player can give an inch. Barker can give a few. weight in there, just a good tackle on McNamara that time. The City skipper. Side to their first ever grand final this week up against Sunbury. It was Hobbs. Sucked it forward. It was Wade. Seemed to take one high. So out of trouble, but can't get full purchase on the handball. McKenzie comes across right up against the boundary line. Eventually he's taken over. Desperation shown by Tyler George while they're sitting on the boundary umpire. Slings it back in now. McDermott's been okay this afternoon, trying to go across Dickinson that time. It's won by Phelps, back to McDermott. Threw the ball on the boot. Todd sent himself on high. The human mullet that time in Matthews couldn't control the football. He also had Aidan George right there with him in both quite happy to see the ball. Once again, over the boundary line. Half in. Final term. Ball fell short. Went through the hands of McNamara. Dickinson is trying to force the ball forward. And all that's occurred is another pass formed. Just attacking side. Single wing. Northern. The Bowls Club wing. The umpire puts the ball up towards the less grey sky than it was a little bit earlier. Won by Todd, had his kick smothered. Dickinson's been terrific this afternoon. Tried to handle towards Harris, but it was chopped off by Jenkins. Dickinson's in there again, in tight, still managed to get the handball out piece. Was he held when he didn't have the football? It didn't matter. The ball's handled on the front, found its way over the boundary line. About 20 minutes away from City achieving the first part of the equation. That's to make the grand final. Equation next week and taking on Sunbury. But in time, as Barker did well, got it out to Peace, out in front, while on the bounce, got it on nicely to Chester, and Chester will go looking for Colbert. Was he just held in the back that time? He'll recover the better. Loose ball at the top of the goal square and eventually transfer towards the scoreline. But Harrison got back nicely and just switched it over for a minor score.
He's a little bit unlucky. Possibly could have had a free kick.
Free kicks in a couple of phases of play that time. And a terrific 50-metre kick from full back by Sam Bromley Lynch. He spots up a teammate on centre wing. Looks like Simons. Simons will go up to half forward. Aidan George did everything but complete the mark that time. Bromley Lynch, that's Josh, seemed to be leaked that time. Was forced forward, got back to his feet, ricocheted a little handball out to McNamara, and he finds Keenan George. And George will just keep it low, looking for Lyle. He's got Paddy Colbert on him now. Just jumbled it on the first effort. It opened the door that time for Colbert to come in. Force the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds, right on attacking 50 on the southern or outer side off the ground. Dickinson over the top. Back and forward was won by Peace. Brown. Ball came back in his direction. Eventually it was won by Greg, not quite sure how. And on the left boot, kicks to an open goal square, but unfortunately for him went across the face. And that's where Greg's been terrific this afternoon. In tight.
Yep.
Still not quite sure how he won that football, but he did. So Hayden, once again, to the southern side where he finds Britt. Takes the mark, plays on quickly at half back. He'll go into the middle of the ground. Luke anticipated the ball well, got hands to it, but it fell from Matthews. Over the top to Lamb, put him under pressure. He missed with his handball, looking for McKenzie. Opportunity for McDermott, goes up to half forward. Was won nicely by Simons. He was chopped up by Gerkovich. He's got McKenzie. He'll need to get the kick away. He was too quick in trying to alert his forwards to make the move. Forgot to get the kick away, and a terrific chase brought down from behind by Jaden Orr. Rewarded with the free kick, and he's got McDermott right half forward. With the hand off to a stationary target, and Hicks just got the kick away.
And there's your man again.
And then Greg, quick but purposeful lead. He's taken the mark on the chest. And had a shot from a similar position, just a little bit closer in after dragging down, showing off really that one-handed mark a little bit earlier. And then he squares it up
How can you
decided,
let-
Sean
how can
Wilde,
you
you
let
kicked
that
8 goals
go?
against Bacchus Marsh in the home and away season. You've kicked 8 this afternoon. Let's make it an impressive 9 and see if we can go for 10 a little bit later.
How can he get by himself?
It's just typified Redan's day. 45
Oh.
degree angle. He's not going to get his 9th now. It's just going to fall a little bit short in the end. It's off hands. He'd gone across the face anyway. And it's through for a minus score. Lyle with 51 goals this season, but impressively 13 in the last 2 games. He goes into next week's grand final in an outstanding form. One kick out by Hayden, and he found Dundon, who went uncontested onto Chester by hand. Go up to half forward. Schultz provided the contest. Ball fell nicely for him. Onto Barker. Back to Schultz. Was to come back inboard. Settled himself up nicely. Open goal square. He'll need it to bounce through, and unfortunately it held its line. And on the angle, it's gone to the right hand side.
Didn't hold it on,
Just
Mike.
didn't move.
It kicked exactly where it
Didn't
kicked
kick it all.
Kicked exactly where it kicked it.
Yeah, it bounced straight.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If he had it straightened up and kicked it
Oh,
towards
but
the
if
goal,
he had it straightened
yeah.
up, the actual kick itself went straight. Lyles won the tough football that time, and he needn't have, or not have. Luke is taken down, it was won by Brett. So on the handball back into the corridor where he's got Riley, and he can go looking for Parker. Just slightly misread that. Back. On the football as his opponent, Sam Howard, went to ground. Barker kicked down the line looking for Karras, tried to present, running square to Schultz, did well onto Karras, and Karras, the outer portion of the hand, just sort of slipped out, but still landed with Barker, and Barker just across his body. Schultz couldn't complete the mark, not sure it was coming in his direction, I think. Karras was dispossessed, managed to spill onto it, Sam Howard, the City, and he's spotted up, and George, again the boundary line, he's got Sam Bromley Lynch on there. Cut the ball low, looking for Greg. On the stretch, takes the mark in front of Greg. Greg, he's not preferred left. He was kicking to the corridor. He was looking for McCartan. Wasn't taken over the shoulder. Plants the call. And Redan have got the numbers here. Although Riley tried to go with the bounce, ball eventually came back to him, and he goes up to half forward. But it was a poor kick looking for Bell, and it was chopped off by Brandon Howard. Keenan George in the middle of the ground, just looks to barrel it long inside 50. Lamb got hands to it in front, couldn't complete the mark, but mopping up nicely was Matt Colbert. And he's got Riley. He's forward, right half back. Just nurses a little pass into the path, and he's sliding down on his knees to mark on the chest. Defensive side, Southern win. Nurses a kick over the top, providing a terrific contest was Ryan Luke. He's hurt himself, and he's also repaired his renowned opponent in Dan Colbert. In the end, it's going to be a City free kick. Square it up where Hobbs takes the mark, and he'll square it further afield where Jones. Switch player and Sam Howard gets his target just tried to be a little too smart. Tried to sell the dummy, but unfortunately Williams wasn't the dummy. Made a terrific tackle on dummy and Holbrook. It's not his finest moment, it must be said. Given the 50-metre penalty away, holding on to Williams just a touch too long. And Michael Williams. Conditions have certainly dried up now. They're the best they've been all afternoon. Williams, it's a kick from about 52 out. All but directly in front, kicking to the City end. It's 4 this afternoon. Skips his way to 52 now. Looks good off the boot. Oh, what a wonderful kick by Michael Williams. Well, he wasn't quite sure if he was going to offload. It wasn't quite sure if he was going to make the distance. Well, we'll show him a replay of that. He made it comfortably, and Michael Williams has 5 this afternoon. And you can certainly look at the highlights reel for that. It was, did well to earn the free kick. Quite earned the 50-metre penalty, but it was there. I'm not saying that he earned it. He didn't actually do anything, but in the end, a terrific finish, and City move along to 19-13, 127 to Redan, 7-9, 51. Michael Williams with 5 goals, Mariag.
Yep, and what a gentleman is what he was. He's taken care of him.
You want him
Yep.
Spot on for next week. City again got the clearance, but it was chopped off inside defensive 50 by Wade.
That's a nice
and a
mark.
terrific mark. Wonderful courage shown by Riley. Is it? No, in fact, it's Dundon. And Dundon square into the middle of the ground where Ryle on the lead takes the mark. He goes back in the direction of Dundon and kicking down the line looks for Schultz.
Another nice
And
mark.
good hands out in front. Played on, but then lost his footing. Managed to get back to his feet looking for Phelps, but again, just a little bit too much height on the kick. And that opened the door for Harrison. Just thumped the ball purposefully over the boundary line and out of bounds. Brought into play at 48 round. Ground level. Another half of Schultz, and then he bend down and pick it up, tried to toe poke it forward, missed completely, and in the end the ball finds its way over the boundary line and out of bounds. So we've put our eyes on Ryan Luke, have we? Oh, I thought you had your eyes on a barrier, waiting for a response.
No, I didn't know.
Brought back into play. Arm down towards Ryle. Was he taken higher? It was won by Phelps. Was he, did he dispose of that illegally? He did. No advantage paid to Daniel Jones there, and the former Roosters is forced to throw it gridiron style back to Harrison. So Harrison will go to the southern side. There he goes. Sam Bromley Lynch has been all right this afternoon. A couple of goals, but the ball scooped through his grass that time and over the boundary line once again and out of bounds. 19 minutes in, 76 points the margin, 127 as 51. City moving into grand final meeting with Sunbury next week. So they've beaten twice this season. It was won by Simmons for City. Brought the ball across his body into the middle of the ground. Britt under pressure, fumbled the first time, recovered the better the second. Handball at the space, was looking for Karras. He just waited for the ball to come back in his direction. It just dragged away from him in the end. Pat forms on the attacking point of the square, attacking side on the southern side of the ground for City as Ryan Luke is actually walking the boundary, the outer part of the boundary.
Hopping would be better.
But yes, it would be a better description. Probably paints a far better picture than walking because it doesn't really look like walking. Ryle slipped. Still managed to get the handball out, but it was won nicely by Hicks. With clean hands goes in the direction of Tyler George. Brought the ball to ground, couldn't complete the mark, but recovered very well. And he's got Brendan Howard on the defensive point of the square. Thought about going back inboard, forced to go to Jones, and then accepts the handball back. And then goes into the corridor, looking at time for all. It fell nicely for Aidan George. You kick a bouncing ball to the top of the square. Getting back was Bromley Lynch. Ball went through his hands, and it's won by Britt. And Redan should be able to clear through. Dundallow sold himself back into trouble again. Still managed to get the handball out. Dickinson under pressure in the last line of defence, but the whistle's gone and it will be a Redan free kick going the way of Matty Karras. Well, at least we won't have the Matty Paddy Karras next week, will we? So Karras to right half back flank, juggling a terrific mark was Gian Barrow. Back and forward to Dundon, needs to get the kick away, just managed to do so as he got tackled. Peace. Managed to bend down and pick that up, and because of that he was taken down from behind with a good strong tackle by Aidan George, who's rewarded. Brendan Peace, for the first time I reckon I've seen him argue with the umpire. School teacher by trade. City.
Profession.
What? Oh, sorry, by trade. It's not the same thing.
No, big difference.
Oh, by trade.
Depends, he might be a woodwork teacher.
That's exactly right. See, there are technicalities absolutely everywhere. Hey, you beef. City have got the ball on centre wing. Clearly this is not a close game because we're going between professions and trades and woodwork teachers and nails. And,
Not only is it not a close game, Michael, it's not even interesting anymore.
Not anymore because City have taken their foot off the gas, haven't they? Peter George finds Simons. He's got the run of Josh Bromley Lynch inside 50. He'll bring the football, but there was nobody there, and Bell takes the mark. Left half back. There's Leary's got Dickinson. Dan's best player by Payne. You heard that. Wasn't a free kick going Redan's that way that time for Simons, who initially was a little slow getting the football out. Eventually retrieved the football and goes up a half forward, but a little sloppy by Michael Williams over the top. And Dickinson will take the free kick. He'll loop the handball to the top of the defensive goal square. He's got weight. Stops, props. Assesses his options. Went to Riley, who took the mark, trying to play on very quickly. Handball wasn't great, but Gene Pallo good enough to get it on by hand to Lamb to go in the direction of Chester. He was outnumbered that time. Mark's taking by Bromley Lynch. Sam. Square it up where he finds his brother, Josh. To switch play. No, he'll just go. Scott Jenkins. Literally going to the middle this time. Scott Jones. Good. Handle over the top. Silence. Back this time to Hobbs. Hobbs got a player on in Lyle. Diffunner out to score to kick his knife from there. He's about 80 metres out and he hugs the boundary line. Just held in the air nicely for Tyler George to slide in and take the mark on the chest just inside the boundary line. I wonder what his trade is. I wonder if he's a school teacher as well.
He's a Tyler.
He's a Tyler. Boom, boom. Hey, George. Let's go through all of their professions or trades, Barry.
Their football is
He's a George.
football is
Slapped towards Keenan George that time. He looked to hook the ball across his body, goes with a high ball, but standing his ground, he's the only one that went for it. And Brett Dickinson been wonderful this afternoon. Can't say too much more about his teammates.
No, there's not too many.
Barker will kick down the line, goes in the direction of Phelps. Complete the mark, was trapped brilliantly by Dean Chester. Just didn't have enough room to move. He's got an open goal square. In fact, he had an open forward 50, but just wasn't able to get the ball on the boot and bring it across his body. In the end, he's floated the ball towards the right forward pocket and then he bounced it over the line from the boundary throw 24.5 minutes in.
As you said, mine made an open 50 metre arc and he was lucky to hit it.
Yes, it wasn't great. Great. But again, look, City have taken their foot off the pedal, there's no doubt about that. But not completely. There's one by Barker from the ruck contest. He'll go to the top of the square. Daniel Colbert couldn't complete the mark, but he recovered the better, and he'll stroll into the open goal. So good persistence shown by Daniel Colbert, and he gets his second of the afternoon. He kicked 2 against Sunbury last week. And Redan, well, they've got 3 in this final term. They get the margin back to 70 points. 19-13, 127 City. Redan, 8-9, 57, 25 and a quarter minutes in, dying stages of season 2013 for the Redan, the great Redan Football Club. But not one of their greater afternoons. Dickinson guided it down. It was won by McDermott. Squeezed the kick out to centre half forward. Must have been touched because Keenan George took it on the full force to play on. Goes to the top of the square, but outpointed that time was Sean Lyle, but no, he wasn't. He was done, well, he was, but he was done illegally against Ryan Waite. And Sean Lyle
Number 9?
will kick his 9th goal from the top of the goal square. He's directly in front.
You would imagine so.
Oh, don't get technical again. As Lou Richards used to say, you'd have to fall over to miss it. He hasn't fallen over, nor has he missed it, and he's got 9.
Quick reply though.
Oh yes, there they went. I think it's the response to that. 2013, 133 North Ballarat City, Redan 8-9, 57. I have to go back through the records to actually see the last time a double figure goal kicking effort was done. I think you'd find it was Ryan Knowles back in the second semi-final back in 2009.
Guess what? I'm not going to argue with you because I was in Siberia, I think.
No, actually, I think you were here. It was 2010 that you were in Siberia.
Was it? Oh, well. Obviously,
No calendars in Siberia.
obviously paid a lot of attention to when I was in Siberia.
But it's very, very cold. You know, we miss it well.
So
It was
I
Bromley middle of the
understood.
ground. Bromley length it was Sam. Had to get it out. Getting it across first was a Redan player who's just been sat on. That's Cam McKenzie. Hands up quickly to release under pressure. Did well getting it on a high. Good strong lead by Chester. Wheels around on the right boot. Puts it into the corridor. And well, he turned around.
At the right time.
And
Yep.
at the right time did Ben Schultz. And he'll line it up directly in front with a margin of 76 points. skips inside 50 now from 40, directly in front. Well, it's a good finish to end what has been a good season for Redan, but not quite good enough. And North Ballarat City, well, there were plenty of questions asked after being belted by their same opponent this afternoon just a fortnight ago. The margin back then was 41 points. But after a slowish start, North Ballarat City have just shown how emphatic a performance their season has been this year with their performance from about the midpoint of the opening term. They've never really looked back. They led by 10 points at quarter time, 48 points at half time, 75 points at three-quarter time, eventually ran out 70-point winners.